when I started my channel, I never expected I would get the opportunity to review episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars as they aired. I'm John Barry, and today we are reviewing Season 7 of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Well, specifically today we're doing Episode 1, next week's going to be Episode 2, but Episode 1, The Bad Batch. Now, just for some context, when Star Wars The Clone Wars was originally cancelled by Disney, there were 2 arcs that were largely completed, but storyline-wise, but the animation was just a rough maniacs. But basically a rough animation where it's not fluid or anything and for the Bad Batch arc and the Crystal Crisis arc, those were released on StarWars.com. So, I've actually seen this episode before, just the incomplete version, though largely complete, like voice acting was done and all that. Pretty much like the thing that was the animation. So, I knew where this was going, but the animation, let's really talk about that, because that's what is 100% new without a doubt, because it's fluid, it's beautiful, it really is beautiful. If you've watched any previous episode of the Clone Wars, actually if you've watched it in general, you will see from Season 1 to Season 6, a progression in the animation. It gets better, not only more smooth, so that's clunky, but it also just looks nicer in general. And it really is beautiful, especially for environments. Over time, it greatly improved. And it's still the same style, but just how it's done is just looks to be so much better done. And that makes sense as you get more used to a style. You can better use it to convey your story as you know how your style works a little bit better. So, yes, the animation really is excellent. It's probably some of the best animation I have seen in Star Wars. This episode in particular, and I expect the quality of animation to continue for the rest of Season 7 as well. Now, we should actually talk a little bit about the episode itself. While I said I knew everything that was going to happen in the story, the question is, did they maybe change some things up, maybe rework some dialogue? You know what? I'm going to say yes, but I'm not sure where. I probably watched them about 2 years afterwards, so about 2015 might have been the last time I watched them, maybe 2016-17. But it's been a good couple of years since I saw the rough version of this episode on StarWars.com. So, things probably have changed. They reworked some lines of dialogue and all that, and I would expect them to do so because, well, filmmaking, and even if it's just an animated TV show for Disney Plus or any place, you're always going to be tinkering a little bit till you get to the final version. But let's actually talk about what the episode says itself. So, if you don't remember, every episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars opened up with a theme, a message, if you will, that we were supposed to take away from the episode. And the message was, embrace others for their differences, for that makes you whole. Unquote. I should say quote in the beginning. But that is exactly what this episode does. We are introduced to the Bad Batch, a special forces unit of clone troopers with advantageous genetic differences. Or genetic mutations. Clone Force 99 is the official designation. And if you remember 99 from the episodes Clone Cadets and ARC Troopers, which made it to my top 5 Star Wars The Clone Wars episodes, consider giving that a watch, is that this unit was named after 99, and actually says to Cody, 99, nice touch, something along those lines. And it's nice to see those connections really being drawn, and that legacy of this one clone trooper who never got the opportunity to the very end to actually serve and help his brothers in combat, because he was stuck being a janitor on Kamino for his entire life till the Separatists invaded. But going back to that message, so each member of the Bad Batch has a different genetic mutation. The leader of the squad, Hunter, he has enhanced senses, so visual, sight, all they specifically talk about like he's able to feel electromagnetic pulses and that kind of stuff. So clearly, I would assume he can also pretty much all his senses have been enhanced. Then you have Tech, who's basically the tech whiz of the group, and the kind of person who has a bunch of random useless facts. I know what that's like. I have a bunch of random useless facts in my head as well. But like he has these facts, he's skilled with computers, that's his character, and he was kind of genetically engineered for that. And then you have the sniper Crosshair, who's an excellent shot, and we do see that basically he's able to move his sniper rifle and boom, like while moving, his rifle is able to take down one droid and move it to the other to take down another. Like, the only other character I think we've ever seen with that good at sniper skills in Star Wars The Clone Wars was in the Onderon arc with Stella. So, yeah. And even then, she could, use a sniper rifle pretty quickly, but still had to hold it for a brief second. Just was insanely accurate. But Crosshair is even to the next level because he's able to be accurate while moving. That's amazing. Like, clearly his genetic advantage has to do with probably being able to quickly recognize when he has a shot, basic skills related to him. And then we have basically the muscle of the group, Wrecker, who, yeah, his genetic mutation is pretty clear. He's buff, basically. He's bulky. He has lots of muscle and is insanely strong. Like, he's able to flip over a gunship with no help, with his bare hands. And just a bunch of other stuff, too, that has shown that he has basically immense, insane strength that he's able to use for his advantage. And all these 4 clones together make a whole unit that's apparently had a 100% success rate. They are extremely skilled and have yet to fail. But also, if we take this from just the unit to the Bad Batch Clone Force 99 to all the clones to go on the mission together, we have Rex, you have Jesse, Kix, and Cody also coming along. Now, Cody does get injured, and then of course, Rex has his own differences that make him unique, and I have my personal series on that. My series that his inhibitor chip never worked. Go check out that video if you like to as well. And then of course we have, is Kix a medic? I don't know. It says the Kix or Jesse is a medic. One of them stays with Cody for medivac, and the other goes with the group. Can't really pick out any things that makes him unique, unfortunately. But one thing is kind of clear in all this. Each clone has their own strengths, and together they make this effective fighting force. In fact, early in the episode, when Rex and Cody are talking to Anakin and Windu, is that they talk about how their tactics are what gives them the advantage of the clones, but the more they use the tactics, the more ineffective that they become, making their tacticals, basically the ability to think on their feet, unique, and each clone being able to offer something unique. And then, of course, we can take this message outside of the Clone Wars into the real world. We all have our own strengths and weaknesses, and yeah, take it from there. Like, all our differences can make us stronger and better. In fact, that's very much a message we get in Star Trek. I have not watched Star Trek Discovery or Star Trek Picard yet, but clearly, especially in Next Generation era Star Trek, it's clear that differences were important for the Federation's strengths. And also, that's when we come to the real world and talk about the ideal of America, differences are to be embraced. They make us whole. They make us stronger. They make us better than what we are individually. That being said, this, I think, message is actually very important for America to learn right now. That's going to be the end of my political commentary on real-world politics. But, suffices to say that this message is good on nearly any level, whether we're talking about society or just a small group, whether it be a military unit or even a friend group. You and your friends, you all have probably similar interests, but I guarantee you, your friend can do something that you can't, and you can do something that your friend can't, and together you guys make a whole. And that's really what I think this episode is trying to teach us, is the central core and theme of the episode. And now, let's talk about Echo and Fives. So early on in the episode, probably about a couple minutes in, we see Rex looking at a picture of himself with Cody, Echo, and Fives. And he's reflecting kind of on how he's basically, well, Cody is still there. He's like the one who survived this long. No, he's missing his friends Echo and Fives, and even Heavy, which is, I gotta say, he didn't know Heavy that well, I gotta say. There's other clones I think he knew better than Heavy. But I think the point that's getting at is almost survivor's guilt. While Cody seems to be taking it a bit better, the fact that he's the one who's survived. Like, yes, he's lost all his brothers, but he doesn't seem as down about it. As Rex around, he's sad that he's lost so many. I don't think he's feeling guilty that he's the one that has survived, and Rex seems to be almost feeling guilty that he's survived. And I don't remember if this was a part of the original plan of the episode, but whether or not it was, I'm glad it's there, because I think that's a good message to teach. Because even outside of war, survivor's guilt can be thing. Think somebody who's a survivor of a car crash while everyone else has died. So you can take it from what you think there, but it's nice to see this moment of Rex struggling. Well, not nice. It's not nice for him to be struggling, but it's nice storytelling to be showing this. And I think this only reinforces my belief that his inhibitor chip never worked, because his emotions are clearly there, while Cody seemed to be more detached from them. I don't know. That's just speculation on my part. But so he's reflecting on Echo and Fives in particular, how he's outlived both of them. But also, he's commenting on how he's noticed how many of the strategies that are being employed by the Separatists were strategies that he and Echo had worked on together to develop earlier on in the war. And this gives him basically the harebrained idea that could somehow Echo be alive? So the episode then, of course, proceeds after this really emotional and heart-to-heart moment for Rex, and goes on the mission with all the other characters, as I mentioned earlier, and they infiltrate a Separatist tech center / communication center, and they're able to retrieve information and more. They patch themselves in, and they are receiving a transmission from a planet whose name I cannot pronounce and will not, because I know I'm going to butcher it somehow, but Rex and Tech are able to get a number which happens to be Echo's number. And of course this really, he had the harebrained idea that somehow the Separatists are getting information about this from Echo, he kind of does dismiss it because it's so outlandish that even he knows it's outlandish. But now he's like, you can tell from how his mannerisms and all that he's thinking like, Echo is alive. Like, he even says it's a live signal. Granted, that could mean the signal is active, but what the episode is trying to convey is that not only is it a live, active signal, but that Echo himself is alive and is somehow the source of that signal. Now, I do know what happens because, as I mentioned previously, the rough versions of the episodes were released years back on StarWars.com. So I know what's going to happen, but will I be surprised? I do hope so, but regardless, this episode was well done, and I am so happy that Star Wars The Clone Wars is back. This was a Star Wars that I grew up on. I actually did a video about that, so it's going to be up in the cards as well. Now, I have a question for you guys. I would love to hear from you. What did you think of Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 1, The Bad Batch? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, be sure to check me out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, links in the description. Also, consider joining my Discord, the 555th Coruscant. Link is also in the description as well as is the link for my Patreon if you would like to support my channel, and $10 or more a month, I'm going to be starting a Patreon-only podcast. So, keep an eye out for that. Also, later today, I will be doing a live stream of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, so stay tuned for that. You can actually subscribe and ring the bell so you can be notified. About an hour before I start, I will announce it on Twitter and hopefully have the stream actually scheduled here on YouTube. So that's all I have for you today. I thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe, as I said earlier, and ring the bell. Also, if you want to check out either of the videos on screen now. And as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you, always.